Have you ever had the impression that people older than your age are difficult to comprehend? Have you ever felt as if younger generations don't understand what you're going through? You might find it simpler to connect with folks who's closer to your own age rather than those who are older or younger than you. If you are having bad times comprehending people from various generations, then you are experiencing
Generation gap.
What is generation gap? Thus, the generation divide between two or more people really have an impact on their daily lives. In our country, how do the key events of a generation shape their distinct characteristics, and how can we generational divide? Let us find out now. The generation gap is defined by Oxford Dictionary as a difference in attitudes between people of various generations that leads to a lack of understanding. Also, it refers to the contrast in behavior, actions, beliefs, interests, and opinions among people of different generations.
Generation gap is equal to misunderstanding and misinterpretation. Differences? And what are the sources of differences?
Let us look at the 5 generations that have lived in the Philippines. As well as the major events that occurred throughout each generations and their individual features so that we can better comprehend the disparities. First is the traditionalist, often known as the silent generation. Silent generation are Filipino citizens who were born between 1945 below. They are the seniors that are now 76 years old or older. Traditionalists grow up in a world where Filipinos were colonized by Americans and oppressed by the Japanese during the Great Depression and World War II. These life events and their experiences had a significant impact on their personalities and perspectives. These are reasons why traditionalists, also known as our lolos and lolas, have a stronger level of conservatism and patriotism. Members of the silent generation also promotes conformity and welfare, demonstrating their ability to work well in a group setting as a team player. Filipinos born between 1946 and 1964 are known as the baby boomers. They are now citizens between the age of 57 and 75. The Vietnam War, Martin Luther King, assassination of John F. Kennedy, and mankind's first step to the moon shaped their behavior and attitudes towards life. They were living witnesses to the events in the Philippines during the recognition of independence in the Rojas Macapagal region. They are goal-oriented and competitive, with a strong focus on personal achievement and individualism. They are independent to the point of questioning authority.
Affection for America. Although the color of our skin is brown, The temper of our minds and our beliefs is almost identical with yours.
The Generation X, our nanay at tatay. These are Filipinos who were born between 1965 and 1986 and are presently between the ages of 35 and 56. Globally, major events such as the end of the Cold War, the rise of the computers, and hip-hop music,
Cinemas, brakes on the car, brakes to make you broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care.
AIDS, and the fall of the Berlin Wall occurred during their age. They were only born under one political administration in the Philippines, the Ferdinand Marcos administration and the martial law. Is it necessary to describe them? Is it possible that we are unaware of how they value life and family? Of course, for us to really understand and ponder why they genuinely care about their children. Family is very important to Generation X. They place a high emphasis on family time and feel that friends can never replace family. The kind of value and attitude that they instill to our family until now. That is why in today's society, parents are somewhat tough with their children when it comes to socializing with their peers. When it comes to their societal view, Generation X somehow rebellious against politics, rejecting rules and regulation imposed by the government. As a result of several socio-political revolutions, they grew up with an inherent distrust of authority in general. On their actions and behavior on workplace, baby boomers' workaholic and competitive attitudes affects how Gen X value their jobs. The general attitude of the baby boomers in power towards succession and management has been the primary reasons why Gen Xers quit their jobs or cut short excellent careers in favor of starting their own business. Generation X had enough of their elders' overly dictatorial leadership and has decided to set out on their own. The Millennials, or the Generation Y, who were born between year 1987 and 1997. They are now the citizens between ages 24 to 34. They were born together with the rise of social media. Lady Gaga and Britney Spears and terrorism. In the Philippines, they witnessed and fully aware of the first presidential impeachment trial and reminisce about the golden age of Pinoy hip-hop, while cities and DVDs playing loudly. Millennials are known for being highly motivated and ambitious, both to work and in their personal lives. These are mostly our young instructor, co-workers, and office mates, SK counselors, managers, and professionals in all fields of business. They are really thinking for their futures, but this being optimism on other millennials somehow becomes worse. According to Malapig, likewise, due to having grown up in a completely wired environment where they can get answer at the touch of a button. They want instant appreciation, quick growth, and easy advancement up to the corporate ladder. Millennials are also known for being entrepreneurial, financially aware, optimistic and patient, and always on the go. And last but not the least, the Generation Z, or digital natives. They were born after the year 1994. With the help of World Wide Web and the internet, the majority are well connected and aware of events not just in their immediate surroundings, but also on a worldwide and international scale, such as the 9/11 bombing, the rise of iPod and other gadgets, and the age of social media. The children of this generation was born into a world where anything can be obtained with a swipe of a finger. The use and influence of social media and electronics seems to have a significant impact on their attributes and personalities. Due to social media, they are noted for their rapid gratification preferences and a lack of community-oriented nature. Due to social media, language small pieces of information are more appealing to them. Gen Z are harder to impress. Posting, sharing, and uploading videos and pictures has become much easier as a result of social media. Their attitudes toward daily living and aesthetics are heavily influenced by different social media platforms, making their standards of beauty become more complicated. However, behind those not so favorable personalities, the most notable characteristic of Generation Z are that they will be smarter than previous generations, and that they will be able to process various facts and information very quickly due to abundant resources. Here are some facts that prove the differences from each generation.
Hello everyone, I am Sir Bradley and I was born on February 25, 1993. Therefore, I am already 28 years old. That makes me a millennial teacher. Actually, I think naabutan ko pa yung pag-open talaga or pag-start ng Friendster nung mga around 2006, 2007, parang mga ganun. Up to 2009, yata sikat na sikat yung Friendster. That aside from napakaganda niyang social media platform, ang natatandaan ko doon is gumagawa kami or naghahanap kami ng mga background dun sa mga profile namin. Na pagpunta mo ng profile, may sariling design yung pinakang background ng profile mo, plus meron design yung cursor, tapos merong background music na kinuha namin sa, hindi ko na matandaan kung ano yung site, pero every time na pupunta ka dun sa profile mo, merong background music kang maririnig. Ikaw yung pipili, no? May playlist ka mismo. Kaya sobrang entertaining yung part na yun. Hindi ko na matandaan yung ibang mga meron doon sa Friendster. Meron pa yata pwede kang mag-comment mismo doon sa pinakang profile. Makikita mo kung sino yung nag-review ng profile mo. That's why it was really popular that time, even before Facebook. Mga kababayan, ayan, nung time na yon, actually hindi na ako sobrang familiar with the music of Francis Magalona kasi I was born in 1993. Sumikat si Francis M during the 90s, so sobrang bata pa ako nun. But I can still remember I grew up with those songs, yung mga kababayan ko, Kaleidoscope World, Cold Summer Nights, ayan. Pero hindi siya during the time na talagang sumikat yung kanta. But nung time na medyo medyo binabalikan na or throwback na lang yung mga kanta ni Francis M, especially when he died in 2009, bumalik ulit yung mga kantang yon. And that time I was already first year college, kaya naging familiar ulit ako sa mga kanta. But Francis Magalona has been an icon ng Filipino rap, kaya although hindi ako masyadong fan, but I really look up doon sa naging ambag ni Francis Magalona sa Philippine music industry. What I really like about our generation is that we are in between two directly opposite generations. Kami nasa gitna. So, nasa pagitan kami ng mga Gen X, which has iba yung ugali nila. And then we have the Gen Z na iba rin yung ugali nila and sobrang opposite yung ideals nila when it comes to being stable. So siguro sa start ng buhay namin, we are introduced dun sa normal na ways on how to be stable. Meron kang sariling bahay, meron kang kotse, and ganyan, may stable kang trabaho, and then may family ka or nakakapag-provide ka sa family mo. Yun yung normally na makakapag-identify whether you are already stable or not. So malaking factor yung trabaho doon na syempre because meron kang papakainin, meron kang ipoprovide, meron kang bibilihing mga necessities, kaya kailangan talaga yung trabaho mo is very stable, or else ayan, papasok yung ideals ng mga older generations na hanggang dito lang mararating mo, ganito, ganyan. Pero dun sa Gen Z perspective naman, which is currently nakikita namin ngayon as a teacher, nakikita namin na views ng mga kabataan, sobrang iba na. So medyo may considerations na sila sa masaya ka ba sa trabaho or masaya ka ba sa ginagawa mo. Kaya I think napakaganda nung pwesto namin as the millennials in between two different generations talaga sa mga prinsipyo sa buhay, mga ganyan. Pero I think yes, ang mga madalas na nagiging basis natin ng pagiging stable is unang-una, syempre stable na trabaho, stable na mapagkakakitaan, and then stable na bahay, may sarili kang bahay, may sarili kang sasakyan, yan ang mga ganyan.
Naalala niyo pa ho, papanakop ng mga hapon?
Hindi ko po, dito lang ng magulang na namin.
Kilanta niyo po ba ang pambansang awit sa English na lengguwahe?
No, ganda pa hindi ko na-memorize ngayon.
Kilala niyo po ba si Manuel Quezon o si Sir George Menya?
Kala ko.
Ano po pwede niyong i-advise sa mga batang generation para sa tingin niyo makakatulong sa kanilang magtagumpay?
Ugali nila. Lalo na kasi noon mas magagala ang mga kabataan noon. Madisiplinado. Hindi kagaya ngayon. Mga marahas. Marunong na makinig sa mga magulang.
Kung natatandaan niyo po, ano po ang dahilan ng kinamatay ng dating Pangulong Ramon Magsaysay?
Ayun, na-crush yan. Nilimutan ko nung bundok yun. Kasi elementary ako nung grade 6 ako.
Tingin niyo po anong mas magandang gawin? Ang trabaho ng mag-isa ng may kalidad ngunit mabagal ang proseso o gawin ang trabaho bilang grupo pero maraming idea pero kulang sa kalidad at mabilis ang proseso?
Pero pag isa, hindi mo naman kaya. Pero mas maganda mag-isa. Mas madali ang proseso ang gawa mo. Marami nga.
Evening po. May mga konting question po ako. Ano pong taon kayo pinanganak?
July 30, 1924.
Sa tingin niyo po ba nung pinanganak kayo, sino po yung nakaluklok na Pangulo?
Ferdinand Marcos.
Sumasang-ayon ho ba kayo na magulo ang politika? Ano pong mas gusto nyo? Ang magtrabaho ng malayo sa pamilya na mas malaki ang kita? O magtrabaho dito malapit kung saan nababantayan nyo ang inyong pamilya?
Na mas malaki para mas makasama ko ang pamilya.
Meron po ba kayong Instagram or Twitter account?
Wala po akong Instagram at Twitter account.
Kung nakapulot kayo ng 1K, ano pong gagawin nyo?
Sa panahon ngayon, hindi ko pa masabi kung ano yung nangyayari kasi hindi ko rin alam kung ano yung siya babalik o kung nangyayari. Siguro, gagamitin ko na lang siya sa mas maganda o mas maayos na pumamaraan.
Last question po. Sa tingin niyo po ba may mabuting na itudulot ang different social media platforms sa learning ng isang kabataan?
Meron, hindi tulad ng panahon namin na wala namang mga wala namang mga gadget sa panahon ngayon.
Okay po, thank you po.
Salamat din.
Saan taon po kayo pinanganak?
Ipinanganak ako noong taong 2001.
Kayo ba may Instagram account or Twitter?
Wala, Facebook at Messenger lang.
Eh kung kayo'y nakapulot ng 1,000, anong gagawin mo?
Ibibigay sa magulang dahil alam kong mas kakailanganin nila ito, lalo na sa panahon ngayon, at para din may dagdag para sa gastusin sa bahay.
Okay. Sa tingin mo ba, mabuti bang maidudulot ang different social media platforms sa learning ng isang kabataan?
Sa tingin ko ay meron naman dahil kumbaga kung itutulad natin ang newspaper sa social media platform, makikita din tayo ng mga balita sa social media platform. Talagang nasa kabataan nila kung paano nila gagamitin ng maayos ang kanilang social media platform para matuto.
Ito ang huling tanong. Pwede mo ba kayo magbigay ng advice para sa mga matatandang henerasyon na sa tingin nyo ay makakatulong sa kanila upang magtagumpay?
Ang payo ko lang sa mga nakakatandang henerasyon ay kahit na marami na ang nagbago sa mga henerasyon ngayon, ay hindi kailangan rin kayo ng mga bagong henerasyon upang sila ay matuto. Pero dapat sumunod din kayo sa mga batas ng ating bansa para kayo ay talagang maging modelo ng iba.
Knowing the differences between each generation, we can now easily understand how they behave differently compared to us. As a millennials, we experience a life before the race of technology and social media. We witness the transition of the world in internet to social media, and because of that, we have two different perspectives. That's why we often misunderstood by the older generation. And the reality is, we cannot blame them because we already know where they came from. According to Mulder, it is important to remember that learning can and should go both ways. Newer generations can pay attention to the older generation's lessons and knowledge, while older generations can learn a lot from the younger ones. Each generation has its own unique perspective, challenges, and contributions, and we can all grow by listening to and learning from people who are different than us.